there, we did 3 shows in 2005, did 11 shows in 2006, 29 shows in 2007, 47 shows in 2008, 55 shows in 2009, and this year we have over 70 shows planned, and it's just growing and getting bigger and bigger, traveling all over the world, which is very cool. But in between Video Games Live and me starting my own company, though, I was walking around E3 back in, this would have been 1994, the year I kind of started my own company. And it was the very first year of E3, which is the big video game, convention. The first year of E3, and this dorky guy with a huge melon comes up to me. And he had a little soul pattern. No, he had a goatee, I think. He had a little goatee. And he was in a tie, right? And he had like his little chinos on. And he comes up to me, oh, Mr. Till, what's your, he didn't even know how to pronounce my last name. It was pretty funny. He's like, Tommy, Tallarico, he's like, could I get an interview with you? And his name was Victor Lucas. He said, my name is Victor Lucas. And I'm like, sure. And so he had known about me from reading about me in magazines and stuff. And so we did this interview. And it was the first time, in fact, it's on my website because we have our first meeting recorded. It's pretty cool. If you go to Tallarico.com, and there's a TV shows section, and then you can actually, it's on YouTube actually, just YouTube. And it's the first time me and Vic met. It was pretty funny. And and so he said, I'm shooting this pilot for a television show, and a television show about video games, and we'd like to interview you for it. So he interviewed me, and then he, about a couple weeks later, he emailed me or whatever, and he said, man, he's like, this is, I really like to, would you be interested in hosting the show? Like, the interview went so well, and this and that, and you know everything about there is to know about video games, and you know a lot of people in the video game industry. So I said, sure, why not? And so we shot the first pilot, and it was funny because when we shopped the pilot around to all the TV networks, again, there was my whole life. My whole career, I've always been, like, you want to put real music on video games? Are you insane? You want to do a concert at the Hollywood Bowl? Are you insane? You want to do a television show about video games? Are you insane? And so it was funny because when we would always go to the TV networks at the time, they were like, they all hated video games because video games were taking away all of their audience, right? And so I literally, it was so funny. I remember me and Vic in a meeting once, and with this big television executive, and he's like, so boys, let me get this straight. You want me to put a half-hour television show on our network about video games, so then at the end of that show, what are they going to do? They're going to turn off my network and go play video games. Are you crazy? That'll never happen. Look at, the guy was pissed, And so that was a very an uphill battle from the beginning, but again, we never gave up. We never gave up on the dream. We always had a positive attitude. We never doubted ourselves ever. It was always just like with all this stuff, it's always always never taking no for an answer, never giving up the dream, and eventually we got on. Our first show was in 1995. And over 15 years ago, it's been on TV, and that's in the Guinness Book as the world's longest running video game television show. Ha ha, X-Play. And initially, and Vic will tell you this, initially I had to force Vic to go on the camera. He did not, it was just me. Like the first 2 years, the first 2 seasons was just me in the studio, and then Vic would sometimes interview people, but he was very much behind the camera. I'm like, dude, get your big head up here, and let's let's get on camera with me. You're really good, and this and that. Oh, I don't want to. Come on, I dragged him on. So finally he came on and started doing the show. And then the only part of the show he would do was at the very last 5 minutes of the show. We had this segment called Reviews on the Run, and he would. I said, come on with me, and we'll review games together, because we would always get into fights about video games where, oh, this game's great, eh? And I'd be like, no, this game sucks, eh? And I'd start making fun of them. And everybody in the office would laugh. We'd say, look, let's put this on TV. And, the great thing about Reviews on the Run, at least the old shows, what we would do is we would just turn the cameras on. We had no script, we had no bullet points, we didn't wear suit and tie. What is that? Anyway, we would just turn the cameras on, and we wouldn't talk to each other at all beforehand, like about the games, So we didn't know if we liked it or not, or if this and that, and it wasn't until the cameras were on and they were recording that this stuff was unraveling like on film, And so we didn't know if our reactions to each other were never planned, were never, after a while, after the first couple of years, like, Vic pretty much knew, big-headed Japanese RPG with no talking and one footstep sound, he pretty much knew I was going to hate that game. Anything to deal with girls of any kind, I knew he would hate that. So, it was funny, my whole goal sometimes was to just make him feel as uncomfortable as possible. I would literally just wait for the moment where I could dive in, say something perverted, and watch him turn red. Anyway, so we did this little section of Reviews on the Run, and we get so many emails from people saying, "Oh, that was their favorite part of the show." So we decided to make it its own TV show. So anyway, I want to take some questions too, but first I thought what I would do is play you this is the Blu-ray and the DVD. First, the people have been asking for it for a long time, and on April 1st of this year. We recorded this in New Orleans with Louisiana Philharmonic, and I donated all the money and proceeds to the Hurricane Katrina Fund for musicians down there. Yeah, so that was cool. And also, if anyone's ever interested in some of the sheet music and stuff, the other thing that I did is I donated a lot of the sheet music, a lot of our arrangements that we work on, I donated it to Alfred Publishing, which is the biggest sheet music provider in North America. They have over 75,000 schools and universities that they distribute to. So you can literally go on alfred.com, and we have arrangements for drum corps and school band and school orchestras and all that stuff. So there's you can get Halo and Advent Rising and Kingdom Hearts is on there, Civilization, some other stuff as well. So and we don't take any money for it. We just get our logo on the thing and say, because we want, and if you go on YouTube and you put in like video game music plus school or video game plus halftime or whatever, you'll see there's literally hundreds and hundreds of videos on YouTube of bands now at halftime or school symphonies and things playing video game music, so that's super, super cool.